Okay, I've worked several rows and it looks like it's almost the size that I'm going for, and I wanted to do a 22-inch head. So I am measuring across here. Okay, this is only at 17 inches. So, I mean, 22 inches is 5 inches away. But watch what you can, another way you can check is if you want it to fit tightly, you should just hold your measuring tape at 0 on the one edge and do it not up against the edge, but down just a little ways, because you're going to have a folded up cuff. And then take this and make sure you hold this tight and stretch your fabric and see what it stretches to. Now see, I could finish this here and it probably will fit the 22-inch head, but I'm going to do a few more rows because I don't want it to fit too tightly. These are for the ones I'm making right now. I'm going to give these to Geckos and Buster on Olinsalot's channel, the Famdamly channel, and I'm going to send these over to them, and they're going to give their fans a shout out so that they can find my channel and learn how to make this. So if you're new and Famdamly sent you, welcome to my videos. So anyway, this would probably fit to Loopy Doo if I did this, and he's just the little toddler they have. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do 4 or 5 more rows. So I'm going to pause it here and I will resume it when I get down to where I'm going to sew it together. So you continue on until it's the measurement that you think is comfortable for the size you want. Way you can check it is just safety pin it along the seam and try it on. And then if it fits where you want it to be, then you can stop there and sew up your seam. There's a way to sew up the seam to make it hidden, so I'm going to show you that too. So I will be back in just a moment. Alright, I've got my hat piece the width I want. I ended on the slip stitch edge. And so all we have to do is after you make that last slip stitch, chain 1 and pull your loop up and leave a long tail, 10-12 inches, and cut your yarn. Okay, what I did was I folded it together, and this is my beginning tail and the chain edge, and this is the last row I completed. And get a length of yarn from your ball, 12 to 18 inches long, and thread it on a tapestry needle or a yarn needle. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to hide the seam. And if you look, the back of your half double crochets have this little, it almost looks like a braid going up and down. Well, your last row you did, that's on top. So if we would have started it with a longer tail, we could have just used that tail to do it. But since I didn't do that, I am going to just bring my yarn up and loop it around twice. And then I'm going to go up through this loop here. Okay, if you're looking at your stitches, bring your loop through that front loop only. Okay, and then down in the next chain stitch and up through the front loop only. And down in the next front loop. So you're going to be hiding your seam. So this will lay on top. Okay. Next stitch, front loop. Down through the chain. up through the front loop, down through the chain, and do that all the way across the hat, and do the same when you get to the single crochet and slip stitches. Okay, and I'm going to pause it here, and when I get up to the other end I will resume. Okay, I'm down where my yarn is about gone on my needle, so all you have to do is those stitches you wrapped around, you just run your needle underneath. Oh, I do about 6 of them. Those stitches, and pull it through. And then you cut it off. Okay, well, it didn't reach the other end, but we did leave a tail on the other end, so we can use that tail and go from the other end and do the same thing, except for you're going to be working from the other side. So this time, go through both loops of the chain, through the front loop of the slip stitch. You're doing it from the other end. Both loops of the chain and the top loop. If the way you're holding it will be the back loop of your slip stitch. And you have 3 of those. Like that. And then you go through both loops of the chain. And that loop of the single crochet. And you do that until you meet up where you left off, so that you will have this ridge laying on top. So you want to complete finishing that hole, and then we're going to pick up the video and I'll show you how to close the top. Okay, I finished that off, and when I met where I ended off, I went in that same stitch as the last one when I came up from the bottom. So, and you open it up and you lay it flat, and it's nearly indistinguishable from the other rib stitches. Okay, and now to close the top, you're going to need another length of yarn from your ball, 10-12 inches. Again, if you make your strings too long, it tends to wear out the yarn because you're pulling it through, and that friction from pulling through causes wear and tear on the yarn. Okay, and what you can do for this is you might want to double the yarn because you want this extra strong. So I have it doubled, and you go to the top of your hat where the slip stitches are, and on the end, if you look at it down from the top, see these little bumps here? Those are your chain 1 from when you turned. So you just run your needle under each of those chain 1 loops, all the way around, and you keep going until you come back to where you started, and you pull it as tight as you can. Okay, and another thing you might want to do is you might want to go around a second time, or you can just pull it right here, and there'll be a little bit of an opening, so you want to pull that extra tight, try to get that hole closed. Go back, go under a few more stitches until you're halfway across from your original tail. So go back around, in the same space. It's a little harder the second time. Pull it through, pull the tail and the front end. See, that's getting tighter now. And then what you can do is I'm going to cut my needle off here. And then just tie a knot to hold your hole shut at the top. And you want to really pull it tight. I'm doing a square knot and then a half knot. And then you can either add a pom-pom to the top or hide these tails into your work. And I'm going to just hide the tails in because not everybody likes the pom-pom look. So yeah, you just hide your tails the way you do in, like I show you in the other videos. And I hope that you enjoy making these hats. You can make them whatever size you like, and happy crocheting.